Good late afternoon to you, British Covidians. Day 68 here, and things going, I guess, in all honesty, as Tory normal. Thanks for your liking and sharing of all of my other videos. Please could I also ask you to click subscribe and just tune in to my channel for more. And if you could pass these videos along, that would be much appreciated. This won't be a long one because I guess mainly it's going to be about what the big news story is. Mr. Cummings. Dear Mr. Cummings, I have just watched his monkey, in all honesty, Boris Johnson, talking about why he is not going to sack his own organ grinder, because generally Mr. Cummings is as I've said before, the organ grinder, and Boris is the performing monkey clapping his cymbals together, and depending on how hard or how fast dear old demonic Dominic turns the wheel, or turns the crank, I should say. Well, isn't that expected? I'd have liked to have said unexpected that Boris won't sack him. I'd have liked to have said that, but everyone knows that would be ridiculous. Yeah, he's going to not sack him, but he's going to back him. You've probably read, as I'm sure many of us had, even local newspapers like the Great Yarmouth Mercury are leading on headlines saying that local A&E consultant thinks that this is absolutely terrible and it could have a direct effect on the infection rate, the death rate from COVID-19. But isn't it surprising that Mr. Cummings, whether you like it or not, was behind herd immunity? Now, please don't anyone be surprised by the Tories even suggesting that the police are lying. Yeah, that's okay. That wouldn't be a surprise. You know, insisting that they never spoke to him or whatever, that he's not done anything wrong. It's not surprising that the Tories will lie. They lie to back this man up, okay? So there is, as you quite clearly see now, and if you can't see this, then you really must be absolutely naive, either incredibly naive or just incredibly ignorant or stupid. There is quite clearly now one law for the elite, yeah, one law for the toffs, one law for the advisors, one law for the PM controllers, yeah, and then another law for the rest of us, yeah. And as you damn well know, people are going to go around going, now, don't have to do that. Mr. Cummings didn't do it, yeah? Mr. Cummings was allowed to travel around the country. Absolutely. And despite what the Tories lie about, a bit of sightseeing as well, yeah? A bit of sightseeing there and back in and around the areas. That is the contempt with which your government, your rulers, hold you in. The fact that nothing is done to him shows the absolute contempt that the government has for you, its people. They hold you in total contempt. Because of lockdown, people have not even been able to be with their loved ones when they were dying in hospitals or care homes or anything like that. Yeah, But this man, no, he's very different. For circumstances in extremis, as it was said, yeah, he can really just do what he wants. Get in his car, drive where he wants, yeah? So those are the kind of people that are governing you now, yeah? And please never ever forget that Mr. Cummings certainly did come up with the phrase, it's herd immunity, so what if a few old people die? He's a eugenicist, yeah? Can I just underline for you again the exact nature of what eugenics is all about, yeah? It's producing the fittest, the healthiest, the longest lived, the most productive, the most kind of virile and dominant and controlling generation in the human race. It's producing the fit workers, and it's also about getting rid of those burdens on society, like the old, the sick, the disabled, the weak. Yeah, that's what eugenics is all about. Eugenics is getting rid of what the Germans would have called Wertlos Essers. I've used the phrase many, many times. Wertlos Essers, worthless eaters. They eat. They consume from the public purse, but they give nothing. They contribute nothing. They take the pensions they've earned, but they give nothing back. So eugenics is about just letting a disease, in this case, wipe them out. Yeah, less burden on the state, more money that the Tories can give to billionaires. Yeah, that is what is behind Dominic Cummings and his extreme right-wing politics, his extreme right-wing philosophy. It is something that was pursued and supported by Hitler and the Nazis. And I say that as a person with physical and mental disabilities. I see this society sliding further and further down that slope where it is going to be perfectly acceptable to euthanize the sick. Yeah? It's going to be perfectly acceptable to, shall we say, shoot our wounded. Now, I'd like you to know that the Germans in World War II had Einsatzgruppen, special groups, if you like, yeah, that actually went out after battles and into the fields, into the field hospitals, to kill their own wounded who were not going to recover. People who had had limbs blown off and whatever, people who had no chance of recovery, no chance of being a truly contributing member of society. Ordinary folk, ordinary soldiers who were severely wounded, they actually sent out this special commando to euthanize them because they were sick, they were disabled, they were not useful to society. So when Cummings goes on about, so what if a few old people die? Well, they're not useful, get rid of them, yeah? It's okay, they're not useful, yeah? This is the horrible world in which the Tories live, yeah? That is the horrible world that you have voted for a party that wants to make this kind of world. Now, with that in mind, just before I finish, please keep in mind that every expert is encouraging you. It's not safe to send your kids back to school, despite Johnson's plan to step it all down to step 2, stage 2 now. And, everything's going well with the teaching unions, obviously, according to Johnson. Everyone's going to be sent back and everyone's going to be offered a test if necessary. They're lies. They're absolute lies. They only want the kids back in school so that they can force you to go back to work. Where, again, look at it carefully. There are no real plans in many workplaces to keep you safe. And when he talks about inspections by the HSE Health and Safety Executive, has been so cut back, you can run an unsafe workplace and nobody will inspect you. Nobody will do anything about it. That's me done for today. But please, let's just try to make a society where there isn't one set of rules for our rich controllers and another for the rest of us. That shows you the society the Tories want and support. Take care out there. Stay locked down. Stay safe. Bye.